Okay guys, so as promised, I am here with the Nakamichi 11.2.6 review. So this is basically how I have it set up at this time. So soundbar, 10-inch subwoofers, both left and right. I have the Christmas tree on the side, so this is why it's a bit closer. Then I have the surrounds at the back, but the stand is still in production, so this is why I have it like this for now until I could get the stands in December when it comes out. And this is the right side as well, same thing. Now let's talk about the room itself. Now this room, it is 14 by 15 feet. It's not a huge room, but it is a decent size. Now, I live in the Caribbean. As you notice, there is no ceiling, as you guys may know it as drywall ceiling, but we call it gypsum. But the way that houses are built here, a lot of the houses, they start with roof first, and at some point we do the ceiling. So for now, it's just the roof. So it's a bit higher, and ceiling will be a bit lower. Right? Now, there are spaces where the sound will escape on each side because there is a small gap, a bigger gap on the side compared to the right. Right? So it's like that on each side. And of course, there on the outside of my home, there is no outside ceiling, and still no ceiling in anywhere part of the house, no drywall that is. So there's a lot of room for the sound to escape. So it's not like an ideal situation where you would have your entire house typically sealed like the United States. So just kind of giving you guys a general idea of how it is I have it. And even with these circumstances, the audio performance that I do get in general, right? So let me kind of talk about a few things first with regards to the system. Now, with the currency, when it comes to the Atmos and the high effects of the system, it is still capable of reaching the ceiling and bouncing back down. I think it works fantastic in that regard. Never had any sort of issue where it doesn't feel like the sound is bouncing. It is bouncing. I could actually hear it from each part of the room, if it's more left side top or right side top or even back as well, or left. So both the soundbar and the surrounds are doing their job when it comes to the high effects. So it's pretty great, and I'm really enjoying the feedback that I get from the height effects in Dolby Atmos. So the system itself, it is insanely powerful. That's like one of the first things that jumps out at you. And the subwoofers are quite powerful. There's a lot of rumble and a lot of bass in general when it comes to basically filling this entire space. One thing that I have an issue with the subs is they do moonwalk, meaning that, depending on the power that you have it on, it kind of slides. So there is a product that I found on Amazon. It's a bit kind of expensive sort of material to basically put under the subs to have the bass more concentrated and to avoid roof shaking, because the roof does shake quite a lot when I have this system on, so I could feel it on my seats, etc. So that product would surely help in that regard. I think it's like about on sale right now for like 42, 43 USD for one. So I'll have to buy two, and I will put that link in the description for you guys, so that way, when you get the system, you could also get that along with it to prevent or to reduce that from happening. So that's like one of the big issues there with the subs. And the only gripe I have with the surrounds is no stand just yet until they make it and they have it available in December. Now, Overall performance from the system, it is remarkable of what it is capable of doing. Now, I know that there's many people out there that, of course, having a home theater system, it is ideal in a sense where you get better quality audio. Those that could afford such a thing, great. I think that's fantastic. Good on you there. But there's only so much you could do with your audio experience, I guess. I know that, compared to what people do with home theaters and using AVR and a bunch of different wiring and systems to get peak performance, what this system is capable of compared to that, in my opinion, is quite remarkable. And I recently visited my local cinema, and it's called Movie Town, and this particular cinema was very weak. The speakers were very weak compared to the Nakamichi 11.2.6. I did go recently since I got the system, and I noticed that the audio at the cinema was way too low, barely any bass whatsoever, and you didn't feel immersed with the movie. The movie was Predator Badlands, and it was just disappointing to know that I have this here and I want to go to see that film and thinking that it may be somewhat better. It simply wasn't. I would rate that movie experience in cinemas probably like a 3 out of 10 when it comes to audio experience, but the Nakamichi like a solid 9. I don't want to say 10, but it really feels like that, because the performance and the bass and the clarity that you get from the system is quite, I don't know, it's quite remarkable. So now what it is I experienced here with the system is a lot like an IMAX theater. I do go IMAX ever so often, and the bass and the clarity and the amount of volume that you do get at IMAX theaters is a lot like this experience here with the Nakamichi. It just feels as though at home it's more concentrated because the room is small. It's more focused on the few people that are in this room, and the audio comes off slightly better in my opinion compared to IMAX theaters, but still I think it's quite up there, both of them. It really screams at you at IMAX, and this I believe is more than capable of doing the same. And I've never really tried it honestly to go full volume, but it is so loud to the degree where I think 40% volume is enough for me. So I will kind of show you guys here the settings that I have it on for when it is I watch movies. And if I could kind of zoom in a bit, you guys could kind of see that. Okay, so the volume setting. Alright, so it's currently at 15, which is pretty normal. But I'm trying to see if there's an easier way for me to do this. Okay, let's try this, right? Volume level is at 50. The bass is at 7. The center channel is at 8 out of 10. The treble is at 8. The rear surrounds is at 8. And the rear back is also at 8. Then the height effects, which is the AHD, adaptive height dispersion, I have the front height at 9. I do have it on ultra, of course. Then I have so front height at 9. Then we have the medium height at 9 and the right height at 9. So that is basically the settings that I do have. I'm gonna lower it down. At this volume, it is fine for me. I think Anything more than that is a bit too much because it is that powerful. So I know that it might not make much sense to show you guys what it sounds like because there's only so much the phones can pick up, but I will give you guys a fair idea, at least, of what it sounds like. So I'm gonna set it back up to level 50 volume and the settings I just displayed. I'm not gonna actually show what's on the screen because I don't want to get copyright infringement or anything. So let's take a look at Nature's Fury. I think we'll have to go back because it's not on Atmos. I don't think so. So let's go back. Alright, so I'm gonna click Delivered by Dolby True HD. It's gonna try Nature's Fury. So it's gonna play in a second or two. Maybe I could show some of it, but not all of it.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you with pinpoint accuracy.
So I'm gonna move it off the screen.
Whether the soundscape sets the mood of a scene, captures the full extent.
Do you want to know my secret?
Of nature's fury.
Okay, so that was the Nature's Fury demo. And I'm gonna show you guys one more where the Atmos is on and off. I think that'll be like a decent example to show you guys here. Maybe this one, Santeria. You can hear the difference on the sudden change there. Alright, so that is the Santeria demo, and so that is what it sounds like, but I know that you guys still won't be able to hear it exactly, but just to give you a general idea. So as you might hear, it is very, very loud and it fills the entire room, even given the circumstances of my living room and not having that ceiling. So I don't have any acoustic panels or anything of the sort. It still sounds great. I don't hear much like echoing, but I know it's in the room a bit, and I have to get those acoustic panels at some point to make the sound a bit more tighter. But overall, compared to other systems out there, this one I believe takes the cake. I think Nakamichi is doing something pretty great, and this system is outstanding when it comes to, and the difference between the Shockwave and the Dragon. I'm pretty certain there isn't a whole lot of difference. There's like 700 watts of extra power, yes, better drivers, yes, but I don't think it's something that is noticeable much when it comes to the actual sound, but maybe power, I'm guessing, yes. But I personally think that it's probably just best to get the Shockwave because they already put in so much work into this, and it's very close. It's like, maybe not the Dragon is more like the bigger brother to this, but I just think that it doesn't make much sense to pay that extra money when you can get this sort of a performance from such a system. So given my circumstances and how it is I'm hearing this audio right now and this experience that I'm having, you guys will be hearing it much better than me because of the state of your home where you don't have it like this. You have drywall, you have that gypsum ceiling. So, and of course you guys can more than afford to get acoustic panels and to have everything set up in one shot. Over here it's a bit more difficult to get a hold of these things in one go. But it is still not too bad at all, and I love the experience so far. And eventually I'll be able to get ceiling to have that sound a bit tighter on acoustic panels very soon. So my next step is to get those pads for the subwoofers to avoid too much vibration and also the moonwalking of the subs. So guys, that is basically my review there, and I mean, I strongly believe in the future, within the next 5 to 10 years, this is something that will be right up there with those big home entertainment systems. I know that's like a long shot and you guys may laugh at that, but for Nakamichi to go this far with their so-called sound bars, I don't even like calling it sound bars. This is an entire entertainment system, in my opinion, because of the sound that it gives off, right? So it's much more than that, I guess, to many people that do own one and people that do own the Dragon as well. So I think in the future, a couple generations ahead, this will be something that would exceed your wildest expectations compared to actual dedicated home theaters, because there's only so much you could really do, you know. But I do know, of course, yes, home theaters in general is better, but this comes pretty close to it. And if it is you're looking for something on the market that wouldn't break your budget and that you don't have to go that far, I highly, highly recommend the Nakamichi 11.2.6 Shockwave. It has been 3 weeks now, and all the movies that I've watched so far was pretty great. To mention a few films with Dolby Atmos, for example, a great one that I watched recently was Weapons, and there was one part in the Atmos effects that really stood out for me, where the guy was walking. He was trying to break into the home, but before he did, he was walking in the rain, and you can actually, as he was making those steps forward and the rain was pouring, it slowly escalated as he took those steps, and the audio became louder and louder, and before you know it, you started to hear it from coming from the ceiling, even though there's no speakers on top there, and the sound is bouncing over it and off of it, and you can actually hear the rain pouring from above. I thought that was very, very cool. Also, what was very unique as well in the film Iron Man 2, at the beginning sequence where he jumps out of the plane and he is diving down into the arena, or the area where he has that celebration with everyone. The audio was pretty at a standard level rate, so it felt as though it was using at least maybe 30 to 40% power, I guess, when it comes to general overall use. But when he landed, even though the volume and everything is set at that one constant state, when he dropped and he landed and the audio shoot to trill, the sound played, it just escalated it just sounded like the volume was raised from that 40% go straight up to 100, and you actually felt as though you were in celebration with Iron Man in that particular scene. And I thought that was very, very cool. It actually felt like you were in that room there alongside him. That was like one of the cool effects, I guess. It felt as though it utilized every single speaker, every single driver, and it filled the entire space. And I absolutely loved that movie in Atmos. Even when the antagonist was using the Iron Man's technology with the whiplash, you could actually hear it from the ceiling. Every slash he made, you could actually hear it coming from the ceiling. And that was very cool. There's a lot of films, almost every movie I saw was quite good in Atmos. Even DTS HD Master Audio movies like Interstellar was absolutely amazing on this. The volume was very loud and also very tight as well, and you can hear every bit and crackle, especially when they are going through the wormhole. That was one of the best experiences as well. Hearing every little bit of sound coming from the craft being hurtled into that wormhole, and you could hear certain bits of the aircraft making noise and metal moving, and it was pretty cool to hear all of that, and I couldn't hear that before at all directly on the system. So to be able to hear every bit of it was an experience, and I'm telling you guys, this is the system of the year 2025, and if it is you're looking for something like this, well, a home entertainment system, don't think of it as a soundbar, think of it as an entertainment system, and it very much is. It's so much more than that. People look at this and say, hey, it's like just a soundbar, but it really isn't. When a soundbar is just strictly like a small soundbar, much smaller than what this is, and it's just that alone, and maybe sometimes, with one bass speaker, maybe two surrounds, maybe depends on the one that you get, but the size of this thing in person is quite huge. Even the soundbar is much bigger than the average, and the surround speakers as well too, so everything is quite big, and the performance that you get from it is well worth your money, right? So guys, that is basically my review on the system. I hope that you enjoyed the video and the demos I played there, and basically my rundown on everything. At least I tried to cover everything for you guys. And that's basically it for now. So do check out that link in the description for the bass speaker parts that I mentioned. So I will do that, and also comment, like, and subscribe for more content. I will be pushing out more 4K videos out there, and if there's anything that you guys would like me to touch on, that you want certain questions answered on certain things about this particular system, do comment, and I will try to make a video on it explaining my experience. Now, I forgot to mention one thing. The only issue I have really with the system is the Bluetooth settings, and how connecting to like my phone to the system. I think there's a bit of an issue, and also a bit of a conflict problem, because like sometimes it would connect and disconnect, and I'm not getting to use the Nakamichi app as much. So without the connection there, it simply doesn't work on the app, and I can't really find the Bluetooth signal on my phone. It's a bit strange. So I had to like unpair and attempt to repair, but it's a very difficult thing. It's not like showing me. I don't know if it has something maybe to do with the firmware. I did contact Nakamichi, but they will have to get back to me in that regard. But it connected initially when I got the system, and it worked fine, perfectly. It did even connect last night as well too. When I attempted, I unpaired it using the Wi-Fi reset feature, and I reconnected and it worked. But now today it's not. So don't know what is going on, but I hope that it is simply a firmware issue. It seems as though that it is. It's not like the Bluetooth isn't working at all. So it has to be some sort of firmware problem, and I hope that this could be addressed in future updates, right? But this is what it is for now. And yeah, so that's basically it, guys. Do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Any questions, feel free to ask me. Peace.